Nuclear fusion in the Sun. Think of the Sun as a massive, self-sustaining nuclear power plant that's been running for about 4.6 billion years. It's essentially a giant ball of plasma held together by its own gravity, and what's happening inside is a violent, beautiful balancing act. The magic happens in the core. The temperature here is about 15 million degrees C, and the pressure is so intense that atoms are crushed together. In a process called nuclear fusion, hydrogen atoms are slammed together to form helium. This isn't just a simple mix, it's a transformation that releases a staggering amount of energy. Specifically, the Sun uses the proton-proton chain reaction. Every second, the Sun fuses about 600 million tons of hydrogen into helium. A tiny fraction of that mass is converted directly into pure energy, gamma rays and neutrinos. Once that energy is created in the core, it has to get out. It travels through two main zones. Energy travels as light, photons. However, the Sun is so dense here that a single photon can take up to 100,000 years to bounce its way through. Closer to the surface, the plasma becomes cooler. Energy now moves via convection. Hot plasma rises, cools, sinks, and repeats. This is exactly like the boiling water in a pot on your stove. What we see as the Sun's surface is the photosphere. Above that, things get a bit weird. This is where the light we see is finally released. It's about 5,500 degrees Celsius. A thin layer that glows red during eclipses. The corona is much hotter than the surface, reaching millions of degrees. Scientists are still studying exactly why magnetic fields whip the plasma to such high temperatures here. The Sun isn't a solid object, different parts rotate at different speeds. This twists the Sun's magnetic field lines like a rubber band. When these magnetic fields get tangled and poke through the surface, they inhibit heat flow, creating cooler, darker spots. When those rubber bands snap, they release massive bursts of radiation, flares, or giant clouds of solar material, coronal mass ejections, into space. If these hit Earth, they cause the northern lights and occasionally mess with our GPS and power grids. The Sun stays the same size because of hydrostatic equilibrium. Gravity wants to crush the Sun into a tiny point, but the outward pressure from the nuclear fusion in the core pushes back. As long as the Sun has hydrogen to burn, this tug of war remains a draw.